Most people struggle not because they don't have the knowledge, but because they don't have the right knowledge. You see, sometimes what we think we know is actually what's holding us back. So the riddle I have today is going to really challenge the way that you think. It's going to challenge the way you approach problem solving, but it's also going to show you the importance or the value in unlearning old, outdated knowledge. What's the word, y'all? It's Top Shelf Cole. Welcome to the Top Shelf in episode 3 of Free Minded Fridays. Y'all already know how we doing it over here, man. Fridays is that day. Fridays is that day where we wake up with a little extra swag, a little extra energy, you know, a different creative mindset. As we roll into the weekend, we can let our shoulders down a bit from the stresses of the work week. So that's what I want y'all to do. I just want y'all to relax, put on your thinking cap, and let me teach y'all something. This problem, this riddle I have, I'm excited about this one because I know not many of y'all gonna get it. So I want y'all to make sure to subscribe to the channel. Y'all make sure to like this video after you get fooled by this riddle. And let me just take y'all to school for a second. So I'm not gonna waste y'all's time. Let's go ahead and dive into it. The riddle goes like this. There's a farmer. He's got 3 things. He's got a chicken, he's got a fox, and he's got some chicken feed. Now, he's got to get all 3 of these things safely across the river. But here's the catch. He can only take one thing across the river at a time. Now, if he leaves the chicken and the fox together, then the fox gonna eat the chicken. Now, if he leaves the chicken and the chicken feed together, the chicken's gonna eat the chicken feed. So the question is, how does he get all 3 of these things safely across the river? Y'all rewind the video, take a second to think about this. I want y'all to solve this. Leave your best guess in the comments about how the farmer is gonna get all 3 things across the river. Now, as you all are solving this problem, I want you to think about a few things. The first one is the video Free Minded Friday episode 2 that I dropped last week, and that goes over retrograde analysis, right? The way we are approaching this problem, how are we thinking about it? Are we coming at it from a linear angle, or are we thinking about it from different angles? Are we restricting ourselves to limiting rules that don't exist? Or are we considering all options here? I want y'all to get creative with me. So the answer to this one, hope y'all ready. The farmer must bring the chicken over first. So the farmer brings the chicken across the river first. He then travels back across the river alone and brings the fox across the river. Now here's the thing, here's the key. On his way back, he brings the chicken back across the river, and he leaves the chicken there and brings the feed across the river with the fox. So now you've got the fox and the chicken feed across the river. The farmer then returns back to grab the chicken, and boom, he's got all 3 items safely across the river. Now, I know many of you all struggle with that. Shout out to everyone who was able to solve that riddle. You are indeed a creative problem solver, a strategic thinker, and I salute you. Now, the question is, what are the lessons to be learned with this? Why do I even do Free Minded Fridays? It's to learn lessons that you can apply not only in your life, but especially in the workforce. And the first lesson here is a recurring theme you'll notice in Free Minded Fridays, and that is the rules that we're placing on ourselves, the rules that we place on our thinking, and these regulations like these railroads that only allow us to think a certain way. And that is typically linear thinking, right? Why would the farmer bring the chicken back across the river when we just brought that boy over there? We just brought the chicken over there. He's safely across. Why bring him back? Many of us struggle with this kind of thinking. And so that leads me into my second point, which is a lot of times in life, progress is not linear, right? Growth is not always linear. A lot of times we've got to take a step back. We've got to come back to a place we've already been to reevaluate the scenario, reevaluate the situation, and figure out what it is we can really learn from this. A lot of times we struggle with taking that step back. We want to keep moving forward. We just want to go, go, go. We got to take a step back sometimes to actually progress. There's a saying, it says we took 5 steps forward and 2 steps back. Well, here's the funniest part. if you took 5 steps forward and 2 steps back, I don't know if that's actually the same, but that's how I think about it. Shit, that's really 3 paces forward. 5 minus 2 is 3. I made forward progress. If I take another 5 steps forward and then 2 steps back, come on, where are we going? A saying that I like to say is higher highs, higher lows. I heard that in the market. I was studying the market, and they say higher highs, higher lows. That's how you know you're in a bull market or in a bull uptrend, right? And that's the way I look at life. Yes, you will dip low. But if that low is higher than your previous low, then that means you're making progress. So I want to encourage you all to keep making progress, but don't be afraid to take a step back. Don't be afraid of those dips low, because that's what comes with progress. There ain't no such thing as a straight line of progress to the top. You will inevitably face some challenges that will cause you to revisit something. So the way I see it nowadays is be prepared to revisit that. Be prepared to take that step back. That step back is not a failure. That step back is you learning. That step back is finding out a different approach, a strategic approach. Another lesson I want you all to take from this is just the brain power that it takes to strategically think, and more importantly, actually, is creatively think. You see, we have so many things coming at us. We got bills to pay. I mean, bills got to get paid. Many of us are raising a family. Many of us are in a relationship. We've got to think about our significant other. Many of us just have those bombs that just blow up on us, and we're dealing with all of these things at once. And so what it does is it stifles our creativity. It doesn't really allow us to create at an optimal or our max level. And so there's a few things I want to tell you all about that. The first thing is use your tools. How are CEOs solving problems nowadays? They're using their tools. They're using their relationship. What tools can you use? The GPTs is a great tool. You use Chat GPT. You can use Claude. Use the AI that we have to make sure that no stones are going unturned. Ask it. We've got to get creative with our prompt engineering, or better with our prompt engineering, so that we can use this artificial intelligence to assist us. Now, here's the thing. Many people kind of have a negative connotation about AI, but I like to think of it like this. You see, AI is artificial intelligence. Now, AI is artificial intelligence, then what's the real thing? Man, we the real thing. We're the original intelligence. Our brain is the original. Our mind is the original intelligence. We've got to maximize what's original to us first, and then use the AI as an assistant. Now, how do we maximize our intelligence? The first thing is, what are we feeding our minds? What are we feeding our brains? Did you drink enough water from a clean water source? Because hydration, the brain is, I don't know how much percent water, but we're water beings. We got to make sure we're hydrated. Did we get enough nutrition? Did you get your vitamins in? Right? What are you eating? How about nootropics? Did you take your cognitive coffee, your cognitive mushrooms, your adaptogens? You know what I'm saying? These are the things we have to do to perform at a high level nowadays. Many of us are working 8, 9, 10 hours a day. Our body needs that fuel, and that's not a Big Mac. I used to love a Big Mac. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what it is nowadays. Nutrition looks a lot different nowadays. So here's my challenge to you all, because here we're at the top shelf, and we got to do things at a high level. We're redefining luxury. So my challenge is to sit down and write down 3 problems that you're currently facing or that you've recently faced. And I want you all to write down these 3 problems. This should take about 30 minutes. Write down these 3 problems. Write down the solution you came up with, and think to yourself, do I need to take that step back and revisit this? What can I learn from this? What's to be got from these lessons? And that's my challenge to you all. Man, I hope y'all enjoyed the riddle. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode of Free Minded Fridays. Again, it's Top Shelf Cole. Hope y'all enjoy y'all's weekend. Y'all holla at me. Be blessed. Peace.